Hello and welcome back to Quartzlight. Today we're going to look at a car that's a little bit forgotten today, the Renault 14. The Renault 14 was first shown in January 1976 and was in production by June of that year, and it went on until 1983. It was the first Renault to feature this small, space-saving, transverse, mini-like engine that helped it gain lots of room for the passengers and luggage. It was a good little design, and straight away the motoring press jumped on it and said this was a fantastic out-of-the-box design. They really liked it. Later on, around about 1980, they did a little bit of a model refresh where they updated the front end, new indicator positions, a few extra equipment, and this is where today's brochure comes in. This brochure is from 1982, so again to the end of the Renault 14 production. By this stage, the motoring press had a bit more of a mixed reaction to it. The problem was this one of the first new sort of small family hatchbacks had a lot of competition. This was the big thing, small hatchbacks, so everyone was a little bit harder on these cars as the years rolled by. There was a motoring campaign which likened this vehicle to a Pear because this back end really helped give lots of room for the passengers and luggage space. Unfortunately, the Renault 14 also by this stage had gained a bit of a reputation for premature rusting, so then it gained the name the Rotten Pear. We'll look through this brochure and see if that was really a fair assessment of what was a great little design in 1976. This particular brochure is quite a lengthy brochure for such a small brochure, so we better open this up and see what we can see. And then on the next page it's kind of like showing its aerodynamic design, if you will. I personally think it's a nice little design, and this is featuring the TS on this first page. The TS would have been the top of the range at the time. There was also a GTL that arrived in 79, and then there was the base model, the TL. This particular TS had more equipment, as you can imagine, being the top of the range model. It also had a little bit more power because of its twin chamber carburetor. But particularly in this top of the range model here, I think it's a nice little design with these unusual door handles and a very sort of typical 80s, late 70s, I guess, colour, which really suits it. I think calling it the Rotten Pear was a little bit harsh, to be fair. I think when you look at cars like the Renault 5, we really highly regard the Renault 5 now, and really didn't rust any more than the Renault 14, to be fair. But anyway, let's look on the next page and see what we can see. This page is really showing the beauty and benefits of having a hatchback over a sedan or a saloon. That flexibility of being able to get more equipment in there, folding the seats down and getting even more items in there as well. And this is really why hatchbacks became so popular in Europe. And like I say, competition increasing more and more. Like this is late on in the Renault 14 run, and competition is pretty high by this stage. You've got things like the Escort, you've got the Vauxhall Astra or Opel Kadett, you've got the Fiat Ritmo or Strada, and you've got the Talbot Horizon, and this is just growing more and more and more. So the Renault 14 is really having a harder and harder time, as its advantages diminish over the competition. But overall, like I say, it's hard to criticise a car at the end of the run. When you look at it back in '76, it was a great little design. This showing these sort of very comfortable seat designs, no doubt a very comfortable car. We always think about Citroën as being extreme comfort, but Renault as well had very, very comfortable vehicles, and this looks like no exception. This, I'm assuming, is the top of the range model though, the TS. Very unusual seat design with this sort of like high back, but certainly looks a comfortable place to be. Now we're looking at safety. I'm not going to spend too much on each page because really, like I say, this is a real lengthy brochure, surprisingly, for one model. But he's talking, like I say, about some of the safety features on the Renault 14. And now we look at the three models that this particular brochure is talking about: the Renault 14 TL, the Renault 14 GTL and the Renault 14 TS. This, the Renault 14 TL, is showing those seats and a bit of an interior view, the base model. And as you can see, the seats are a lot more basic on that previous page, and it doesn't even look like we've got any sort of head restraints on there either. They're very much basic model, but again, they do look very comfortable seats nevertheless. Now we move over to the GTL, and we can see we've got head restraints on there, a little bit of a higher specification vehicle. And as we can see more on the 14 GTL, the GTL, like I say, arrived in 1979, and by 1982 got a lower powered economy tuned version of a 1.4 litre engine. As you can see here, it's 1360cc, and you can see a few more bits of equipment on that over the more basic TL. Now we move to that top of the range model, and you can see it's still using that 1360cc engine, but now we've got that twin choke carburetor, giving it a little bit more performance. As you can see, all the equipment. One of the problems that was noted on this model, however, was you can see that sort of like heater dial, the engine, a temperature gauge near the gear lever there. That was sometimes forgotten about because it wasn't really in the direct line of view. So there was cases of people not looking at that and the car overheating because of its strange positioning. But nevertheless, this was your top of the range model with all your bells and whistles, and I think it also looks the nicest looking version in this brochure. I particularly like these little door locks with a little red button that pops up. I do think that looks particularly very nice and unique there. But like I say, we've got all the bits on the rev counters, power windows, etc, etc. And hey, we've even got a low fuel level warning lights. What more can you need? And like I say, these very comfortable seats, we can see that sort of unique to the TS. Quite an unusual design, but no doubt very comfortable. And then finally on the back page, with what we call the Renault Boutique. The Renault Boutique was just a series of optional extras you could fit your Renault to give it sort of a unique character, if you will. And that comes to the end of this particular brochure. And also, have you noticed on these, Renault always recommends ELF lubricants. ELF and Renault certainly had a bit of a unique relationship. So 993,193 Renault 14s were sold. Bit of a mixed reaction during the years in production, ranging from a wow when it came out to a meh by the end of the production year. By 1981 we got the Renault 9, and then that kind of like spawned its predecessor to the Renault 14, the Renault 11. The thing about the Renault 9 and the Renault 11, it was a very sort of dull conservative design to me compared to these Renault 14s, in my opinion at least. Now, like I say, the Renault 14 had a bit of a mixed reaction during its production years, from that advertising campaign comparing it to a Pear to the realisation that it rusted like many cars did in the 70s and gained the name the Rotten Pear, a very unfortunate name for this particular car, I think. It also got a bit of a reputation for being a difficult car to start in damp conditions, which wasn't really a plus on the UK roads. Apparently there's less than 10 of these cars now taxed on the UK roads. If you have one, if you've got any sort of like memories of them, please do comment of your opinion of owning or being driven in a Renault 14. Thank you once again for watching Quarterlight. There'll be more brochure reviews in the near future, so please do like and subscribe, and we'll see you very soon. So please do take care and goodbye.